One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science,
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. I mean it.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
What the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang on.
Hang
on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science,
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. I mean it.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
What the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Roll Tide. It's the Q Dog right here in the studio. We've got instant reaction for Alabama, Louisiana Monroe. Joining me in the studio is my man, Austin Dash. Austin Dash, good night from the Tide. We're waiting for Coach DeBoer to show up for the press conference so that we can bring that to you live. Welcome, Austin Dash. Glad you're with us.
Glad to be here.
What are your thoughts, brother? Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
You know
thoughts?
What? It is a good night to be an Alabama football fan.
It sure is. Sounds like Coach DeBoer might be coming up here. Let's take a live look at the press conference, and should see him in a minute. Yeah, it's great. Brandon Phillips, thanks for getting in, man. RTR. On a night where you hope that Bama would finally take an opponent serious, here for the first time in the 2025 season, and they did. So very, very exciting to have our team come out and play on their toes, and really looking forward to what Coach DeBoer has to say, because I was telling Josh Austin that not only did the players have something to prove, but the coaches did as well. Everybody in the Crimson and White had something to prove this evening, and it's great that they actually went out and did that.
Yeah, no, I agree. From the first string guys to the fifth string guys, I mean, we had guys scoring touchdowns and making tackles that I had never heard of.
Yes.
So that's what makes me excited, is it's not just some guys stepped up. From the top to the bottom, it's like a whole different team this week.
Yeah, I agree, and this is something that I told Josh, as we were kind of preparing to watch this football game. I said, Alabama seems like they prepared for a 2-10 Florida State, and Florida State prepared for the University of Alabama.
Yeah, I agree.
And
100%.
neither one of those teams got what they prepared for.
100%. And I told Amber that earlier. I said I feel like the difference was this week or last week, Florida State came out ready to punch Alabama in the mouth. And when Alabama got punched in the mouth, they was like, "Wait a second, this team is supposed to be 2-10." And I don't think anybody knew what to do. And I think honestly, that had to be as confusing to Kalen DeBoer because he probably thought that they were prepared to play a good team. But I feel like the difference was tonight, Alabama took the fight to Louisiana Monroe. And I know it's Louisiana Monroe, but Alabama brought it tonight like Florida State brought it last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we were on the wrong feed, so we're gonna join Coach DeBoer here pretty quick. I noticed that we were on the wrong feed when let's see if I can find the proper feed when I started to hear those chants in the background. Let me see what I can find here.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, share this with your friends. Share the BS podcast with your friends.
Yes, please.
We'll go live on Monday, and everybody will be on here. We'll talk about it all again. But
all right, let's see what we got here.
Okay.
If you're just joining us, Alabama beats Louisiana Monroe.
If a baby is giggling in the back seat,
73 to nothing.
Happy. If a baby is crying,
Which Austin
in the back
Dash, that's
seat,
exactly what they were
probably
supposed
hungry.
to do.
But if a baby is sleeping in the back seat,
that's what we
will you
needed them to
remember
do.
they're
That's
even
what the
there
fan base wanted
when you're
them to do. And
stressed, or not usually
it's
one
the
who
right
tries
thing to
them.
do to
The
show up and
chances of
do
forgetting
what's
them in the back
expected of
seat
you
are much higher.
rather than
It can
to
happen
underperform.
to anyone. Parked cars get hot
terribly.
fast and can be deadly. So get in the habit of checking the back seat
All right,
when you leave.
let's see what we got here.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're in the hunt for this live press conference from the University of Alabama. And let me see what we can come up here with.
There we go. That looks like a press conference.
Yeah, let's give this a shot. Let's see if something comes up here. Let's go to live and see what shows up.
It may not be on yet.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Well, let me see what I can come up with here.
Okay.
Brother Austin Dash. What do you think about Ty Simpson? 17 for 17, man.
You know what? A lot less hesitation tonight. I love that. I feel like they simplified it a little bit for him on some of those plays. Was get the ball out of your hands on your first or second read and sling it. I loved. I called Bill after we had those two penalties on that one drive. I said, Bill, they just scored 3 touchdowns before they actually got one that counted. So that was exciting for me. I was like, man, they've scored 3 times right here. So no, I thought there was a lot less hesitation. He moved around the pocket well. That dot to Isaiah Horton, I feel like was his best throw of the night.
Yeah, that
Leaving
was
the
a great
pocket,
pass.
rolling from the right. So, which I don't know, that pass to Jeremy that they called offensive pass interference on, that was pretty great too. Off of 1 foot.
Yeah, I thought that call was garbage, to say the least.
Pretty bad. So did Jeremy.
He sure did.
He agreed with you.
All right, let's see if we can find out where this. Sure Surely it's not like a 3-minute press conference. Well, Austin, I don't see anything on here. I just see that everything has disappeared. So we'll go to live, and then we'll stand by for this particular press conference, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it looks like we got another live view up there. So Coach DeBoer should join us soon.
Yeah.
Until he does, I was at the gym on Wednesday night and watched the episode of Hey Coach. And I've got to say that the demeanor of Coach DeBoer was completely different. Like, I had never seen that side of him. And I think it was very important for him to convey to the team exactly what is in front of them. And, I truly believe that, during the week, they had to, and I mean they had to show these guys, this is what. Oh, here we go.
Coach DeBoer, beginning with an opening statement. We'll take questions. Leave your hands up. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible.
Yeah, you bet. Just thought the guys did a good job, just moving with some purpose and everything that they did. Got to the stadium and just the movement. I think it represented what they did this week, and it's one game, and we got to continue to sustain the intensity and the focus. I thought the guys did a good job playing from snap to whistle and doing it over and over again for 60 minutes. So, that was the challenge to the guys, and that's what we got to build on. So, I like that they really didn't feel like they looked at the scoreboard ever and just focused on being their best and bringing it. And also really like that they're happy for each other. They celebrated each other's successes, and I think that's what this team has. So just that chemistry coming out, and them appreciating the work that each guy puts in.
Yeah, Ty completed 17 consecutive passes. What stands out about what he was able to do there, and then also the decision to bring in Austin for that drive? What went into that?
Yeah, that's just Ty doing what he did. I just thought that the game was slower for him. He was just able to go through progressions. That first week to second week. That's what you needed to see. That's what you really needed to see out of Ty. And I'm proud of, how he went to work. And, there's some times when he scrambled this week where it just felt like he had it under control. It just, saw the field, knew where guys were at, understood the situation, and then made the throw. And, to get completions like that and 17 for 17, the guys got to make the catch too. They got to make those plays. And so, just focused on making the fundamental play. And then I thought a lot of guys, then made explosives after the catch, but they didn't get ahead of themselves. They just, again, game was slower for a lot of them. As far as the series early on with Austin getting in, it's just something we wanted to do. It wouldn't have mattered, really who, this week, next week, who we're playing. We just really got with the quarterbacks, and on Monday we shared with them, we want to get Austin in for a series. We want to be really intentional. There's a lot of competition going on at all spots. And, I love what that brought out in all of those guys. I think it brought out another level of just, work. And they stayed the course, and started with those guys. But, we just let them know. And I thought Austin had a good week of practice. Ty had a great week of practice, especially as the week went on. And then it was good to see Keelan get out there too.
Jumping to the right side, so Colin.
Hey, Kalen, did you see, increased fire or an increased vigor from your defense after, kind of in response to kind of the criticisms that they got last week?
Mm-hmm. I just think they did a better job of every guy pursuing to the ball. And so, that the week of practice was a good week, and, it showed and it carried over, and, got off to a faster start than what we did last week. And, that that was what we needed to have. And so the lot to build off, and especially as the game went on today, having those takeaways, because that's a contagious thing. It doesn't matter who you're playing, it's just contagious. And they're just hunting the ball, and coming in and punching it loose or putting your helmet on, on the ball carrier with another level of violence. And that was certainly something I saw in practice. So, happy to see that to carry over.
Katie.
What did Kevin Riley show in practice this week to earn that starting spot? And then what did you see from him tonight in the running game and in the pass game?
Yeah, I mean, I think from the running back position, it's a group effort, and we just liked that play with Kevin. And so that's how he got in there right away. But obviously, I think he had quite on the stats in front of me. I think he had quite a few, maybe some of them, maybe most carries on the team. I'm not sure on that, but he's done a good job the last probably 4 weeks, middle of camp. He really kind of turned it up. And there's some things that he can do that are a little different than the rest of the group there. And so like where he picks up his knees and runs hard, inside, outside, and got a little burst, does a nice job catching the ball in the backfield. I think he's really picked up the understanding and responsibility when it comes to pass protection too.
Good, Charlie, front right.
Yeah, because you had a couple of freshmen in the starting lineup with London on the defense and Latsier on offense. Just what did you see in the lead up to this game from them, and what did you see from them today?
Yeah, London got some action last week, and then just forced into more action, with Jeremiah and just kind of the rotation there with he and TK out. So I think offensively with Latsier, just loved what I saw. Maybe it wasn't offensive snaps last week, but on kickoff, there was some things that Lottie was doing. Then he's had, again, build up, much like a lot of the younger guys. We talked about Kevin. He's done a good job here the last 2 or 3 weeks, really elevating his game and understanding what it takes. Saw it last week, on the football field, had his way to make an impact on some kickoffs. And just, you could see, there's a violence that he has. He got his opportunities. I really like the third down catch in their territory, going up and getting it. I think that's something he does really well. I've seen that quite a bit in practice. He plays bigger than he is, and got good catch radius, and guys have a lot of confidence going to him. I thought the bubble screen, and just there's details that I liked as well with ball security. I thought he was very intentional on taking care of the football. So, a good step for him with this game and the experience he got today.
Go to Alex up the middle on the left.
You seem to rotate a lot of guys in on the offensive line. What was the thought process with that, and how do you think it played out?
Yeah, just, competition, and, we did that last year too. And it's just something that I think brings out the best in you. And I thought that was the case throughout the week of practice. And that's, I think that led to better execution. I think there were some times still where we certainly got to be better. That drive that we had to kick the field goal. There were some things, I know we missed the throw down the sideline, but there were some things that they were too hard because we weren't executing at the level that we needed to. Just a little miss here and there, and ball could have been cut loose. Got a guy at your ankles, and they shouldn't be there. And so, again, just trying to bring out the best in all these guys, and just much like the quarterback competition, these other competitions, these guys are all. It's a healthy competition. They all are working and pushing each other.
Chase, back row on the right.
It seemed like y'all got out of this game pretty healthy, but did anybody get dinged up who might be, questionable to start practice this week?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we did get through healthy for the most part. And so just hopefully, we'll see some of these guys getting back. Might have an update or two on Monday, but I think it'll probably be more midweek where we see, Ryan and Jam and TK and some of those guys and kind of see where they're at. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we got through for the most part healthy.
Stand on the right side. We'll go to Joe in the front row.
Coach, just what does this performance tell you about your team and the way that they can respond to adversity?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the game is one thing. I think the response, whether it was on the plane ride or in the locker room last Saturday, and just really upset, just not happy, not, just obsessed with understanding that we have to be better and we can be better, and knowing that it only comes through just work. And they made their minds up at some point that led into Sunday, because by Sunday they were ready to roll and get on the football field. And that carried through the whole week of practice. And so the challenge now is, can you sustain it, and can you move forward and continue to take the steps, getting better and better. We have some upperclassmen. We got a lot of younger guys, as we've mentioned, and we have to just keep improving every single play, not just each week, but every single play.
Go to EG, second row on the right.
Coach, you just mentioned it, sustaining this success. What does it look like tangibly to do that, to keep that execution and energy going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just everyone's just got to do their part, do their job, and just I think the guys are understanding that everyone's just counting on them. They're counting on the staff, but the staff is counting on them, and their teammates are counting on them to bring their best. And I wouldn't expect anything less. It's a high character group. It's a group that has shown me all along, they really want it bad, and they're willing to sacrifice and have action that represents the goals that they have. Obviously last week was a disappointment, but they moved forward, and now they got to continue to move forward going into next week as well.
All right, we got one last question, Jonathan, all the way back on the left.
Yeah, Coach, and just mentioning last week, I mean, how important do you think it was to come out in what was one of Alabama's most dominant wins in a really long time, to get that win and sort of flush last week?
Yeah, it's definitely important. I mean, that's all we could control was what we had in front of us, and sucks to learn lessons or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, but these guys did it. Now again, they got to do it again. They got to have the discipline to do it over and over and over again. And just the resiliency is probably the thing that I'll take from them, because their response was not timid in any way. It was with power, it was with aggression, and with pride. And they were certainly that took a hit last week. And again, all that was something that really came into play as far as what you saw tonight and how they responded.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome, thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is your post-game press conference with Coach Kalen DeBoer after Alabama beats Louisiana Monroe 73-0, which is excellent. Austin, any immediate takeaways as we want to talk for just a few minutes about the press conference? And if you're watching live, hey, we'd love to know what your thoughts are. Just comment below on whatever platform you're on. We'll feature that on the show. And be sure to check us out on Monday night at 5:30 Central for the BS podcast. The full show, Wild Bills, Bama Bullet Points, the stats with the Q-Dog, the dashes on DeBoer, and the fourth quarter will always be one to remember. So, Austin, what are your thoughts there, buddy, after listening to the press conference?
I mean, it's all the stuff that I expect him to say. I mean, we gotta take what we did this week and build on it next week. So, that's just you can respond one week and be completely different, but can you keep building on it every week?
Yeah, I agree, and I really liked what he said. I really liked what he said in this sense, is that we've got to improve every play, not every week.
Yeah.
Every play. And here's something that I thought was very interesting, and it looks, obviously they followed through on it. After that performance, it would seem that they came back together and they said, look, competition's back open.
Yeah.
And so they decided, on Monday that Austin Mack was going to get his opportunity to get on the field in a real series while there was, in the meat of the game. And, then the coach talked about rotating players in and letting them know that this is a meritocracy. Nobody is getting on the field because they're supposed to be. You've got to earn it.
Yeah.
So, and since 1951, that's the biggest spread of points that margin of victory that Alabama's had. And so just a few things,
Alabama, I think the spread was to cover was 37.5. So I think they made it.
They did just barely doubled it. And the thing is that we had questions going into this game if Alabama could score, 35 to 37 points.
Yeah.
Because of their lackluster performance, and just watching the snippets, watching Austin Brooks break the film down, we quickly began to realize that this was a lack of effort.
Yeah,
This was
small details away from being completely different plays.
That's correct. And then there was an issue with coaching and preparedness.
Yeah.
And so, I think it really would appear, now we're not privy to it, so it's all speculative, but it would appear that they came back. The team was disgusted and embarrassed, which in this instance is a good thing. And then, the coaching staff, they had to lick their wounds and really decide on, what were their failures in order not to have this football team prepared. And we know the environment was loud. We know that, Florida State came ready to play. But like I said on the show, like I told Josh, I mean, what if this is the best case scenario for the University of Alabama as this new era begins, to be absolutely embarrassed on national TV, and for them to know that there are no days off. If you want excellence, there are no days off. And so, I'm excited to see them come out. I told Josh, the entire time, whether, when defense was on the field from the start of the game all the way through the fourth quarter, they were on their toes. They were leaning in, and they had something to prove. And
well, one thing I loved seeing too was that we didn't see last week was 5 and 6 guys at the ball carrier.
Yes.
At the point of attack and making the stop. When you have half of your defense making the tackle, I mean, that's what we saw for the last 17 years. And I feel like last week could hopefully be a wake-up call to the boys who weren't coached by Saban, that didn't know anything about the process and what it took to actually be great. I feel like a lot of recruits now could come in easily and go, well, we're Alabama. This is going to be a cakewalk, without realizing the work that those guys for the last 15 years, 17 years have put into the week before you ever get to Saturday. So
that's right.
And I feel like
Lord,
I feel like that's the difference between last week and this week.
Most definitely. And thank the Lord for, the players from the past that built this legacy, calling these young men out and challenging their manhood and letting them know that that's not the Bama standard. That's not what they fought so hard. That's not what they gave everything they had for to create a standard. And thank you to AJ McCarron reminding these young men about how much Alabama football means to the fans in the state.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Now, look, if you are new to the BS podcast, and maybe you're not watching this live, but if you're new to the BS podcast, we want to welcome you in every Monday after a football game. The BS podcast comes on 5:30 Central. And if you want a taste of what we discuss on there, there's a lot of fun. We talk Alabama football. There's a whole lot of BS. But there's also moments like this, and we want to show you a little bit more about that. Just a couple things before I turn it over to Josh real quick, because I know he's got a comment he wants to make. You can be a nice guy, but you can also still bring the thunder. And I know that. I know that for a fact. And just in my own life and my own development, of course, I have never coached at the level of the University of Alabama. I maybe I've not had that kind of pressure, but God knows that in my life, in real life, I've had significant amounts of pressure. And the reason I'm even going to talk about it is because you do have the ability to grow outside of yourself and become what the moment needs. How do I know that? Because I have done that. Obviously, it's by the grace of God. It's by a lot of hard work. And it's about choosing the mental fortitude and becoming who you want to be. And he has the goods. But in this particular situation, when it comes to the University of Alabama and the expectations, this man has the framework to get the job done. But what got him here is not going to get him to where he wants to go with this program. Because he's got to embrace something that he may never had to have done before. It's a new version of who he is. And Coach Saban had to do that on some levels whenever he was coaching, because he had a system and a process, and he was forced to evolve when offenses changed in college football and in the SEC. So that's where DeBoer finds himself. I was not built to stand face to face, with neurosurgeons and advocate and fight and push back and demand that my daughter gets brain surgery. But you have to embrace the moment. I wasn't built to sit in front of the two people that sexually abused my kids, but you have to embrace the moment. I wasn't built for many of these things, for autism, for seizures, etc. And that's real life. And for him, this is real life. This is the program. It's the future of his coaching staff. It's the families that are connected. It's the boys that are there that want to be professional football players. He has to rise to the moment, and he can. He has what it takes. And he's a great coaching staff around him. And I say that too about Ty, because we want the good guys to win. Yeah. But he's got to execute. Josh, I'll turn it over to you. What did you want to say?
That was a lot. It's going to be hard to top that.
Yeah, Austin Dash, I think he took a step in that direction this week, and we'll see, week in and week out who he is becoming. And, interestingly enough, I saw the scowl on his face tonight, even when things were, when we were ahead 50-something and 60-something to nothing and guys were not performing. He's allowing that side of his passion to come out. And I think it's very, very important because, like I was explaining, the other night, and it may seem grandiose, but, truly when you talk about people's careers and their ability to provide for their family, this is where it's at. It's not just sports. It's not just entertainment. It is the legacy of the university, but also it's how these guys put food on the table and take care of their families. And then, these young men, it's about going to the league and furthering their career. And, in my mind, I look at people who will scream and shout about, football players and programs not giving their best. And then they're mediocre schlumps in real life, those people. Yeah. So, I think it's important that we look at it. And here's the terminology that I love that Coach DeBoer used: power, aggression, and pride. And I could tell that is what he is demanding. And he can use Florida State as leverage. And every week that Florida State goes out and they beat someone, Alabama is going to know about it. And so the only way that we get revenge is we continue to do what we can do. And many people say, oh, it's just Louisiana Monroe. Oh, it's this, oh, it's that. But hopefully our team stays focused and say, hey, we've got to play who's on the field and not look past whomever is on the field, because if we do that, that's not the legacy that we committed to. That's the team that showed up to Florida State. And so, I think coaches can use that for leverage. I think it's great when you can. And if it if there is short-term pain for long-term gain, I'm in, and we will see. But congratulations to Latsier Brooks. What an impressive night for that dude, man.
You know what? He is everything that they've said for the last year that he was going to be, and then some.
And yeah, and then some. Congratulations to Kevin Riley. Nobody's happy that Jam is hurt, but it does provide opportunities for people to rise to the moment. And there you have it. You have this young man, which I don't think Richard Young has done a bad job at all. But this guy is a breed above. He's something very special.
Yeah.
And so while Richard Young is a big body and a punishing back, this guy is, Kevin Riley's ready to run it up the middle like a big back, but also he's ready to scat around the field. He's got great hands. So impressive there. And, I think somebody else who had a lesson tonight was Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy Bernard is the man. And he's the man in town. And
it just goes back to too, if you don't make the plays, there's plenty of other people on this team that want the opportunity. So
correct.
If you won't, there's 5 others that will.
Yeah, it's really good. Thankful for the response. We got out of the game fairly healthy, if not completely healthy, which is great. I mean, you got guys stomping around on each other, so you're going to have some of the fundamental pains that come along with it. But again, I'll say this: was it a wake up call? Yes, I believe it was. One of the reporters asked that question. Coach DeBoer saying we have to improve. And not only do they have to improve, they don't need to improve every week. They need to improve every play. And Josh, thanks for joining us. Coach DeBoer talked in the press conference about opening competition back up. And that's why Austin Mack came in, because they told the quarterbacks and apparently everybody that competition was open. And so you've got to go out and earn your spot. And so they had a pre-planned time when Mack was going to come in, no matter what the condition of the game was, and he did, and he was successful. And even the rotation with offensive linemen. So just a couple of quick thoughts from you. I'm pretty sure you're going to talk about Dylan Lonergan as well. But, talk to us about what your thoughts were on the game, and then we'll wrap this episode up in preparation for Monday with a full show.
Well, I will say Dylan almost had 400 yards and another 4 touchdowns, but they lost the game because their defense sucks. But I will say that what we saw out of Bama was what you wanted to see out of Bama. Every player looked hungry from the start to the finish of the game. Because you don't score 73 points without everybody contributing every play. That's a lot of points. I don't care who you're playing. It's a lot of points. And to see how Ty came out of the game, Austin came in and performed, and then Ty came back in for another series and still performed again. That's a big deal.
Touchdowns.
Yes, 4.
Well, he scored 3 on the one drive.
Yeah, well, he had 3 touchdowns and a running touchdown. And, I mean, you look at the other 2 quarterbacks, they had 2 apiece. And Keelan looks as every bit as advertised, and that's the future right there. They need to do everything they need to do to keep him. But I will tell you, I don't think we miss Ryan Williams that much. So he's going to have to get the fingernails unpainted, stop bringing his teddy bears, and toughen up, because he didn't look like he wanted to be in the slot last week. He wasn't running hard routes. He wasn't being tough. And there's other guys on the team that are willing to do that. And number 17 really impressed me today, Brooks. Latsier Brooks looks like a man. And
Cole Adams played well.
He sure did.
Everybody
Rico
played
Scott
well.
played
And
well.
if you're the highest paid guy on the team and you're not performing, then you got to go, my man. I mean, that's just the way it is. And they can't let one guy dictate the team. I just watched Nico Lava throw a game-losing interception at the end of the game against ULV, and that
That's
lets you know that
hilarious.
yeah, it's amazing because he tried to hold out, and then Tennessee brings in the guy from UCLA. Now they're 2-0. They scored 70 points today with him, and it lets you know that you have to earn your money and you have to play the game hard every play. And I'll tell you what, man, I saw what I wanted to see out of the team. Well, we will never know until we play Georgia, but it was a good stepping point, and we need to build on it next week against Wisconsin. We need to beat their ass and carry that into the Georgia game because Georgia don't lose at home.
That's right. I think that's very well said, and props to Coach Kalen DeBoer getting the team ready, and we'll see. And the beauty is you don't have to play every single one of these games at one time. You can play who's on the field. You can handle the business that's in front of you. And as long as you do that each and every play, each and every game, the rest will take care of itself. And, the rest remains to be seen. And, the last thing I'll say, and Josh, you and I talked about this, for a week 2 in college football and a weekend that wasn't supposed to have any, marquee games, really enjoyed the mix of football that was on in the latter half of the day. We watched McTeer, play Oklahoma v. Michigan. We watched Mississippi State get a big win against Arizona State.
Yeah, they were up big, and they can let them come back, and then they took the lead late and won the game. That's huge because Arizona State went to the playoffs last year, and they've got a lot of their returners back.
Tore the goalpost down. Mississippi State's biggest win ever.
I thought it was great. It's the first time since 1991 they got a ranked win on the at home though. That's non-conference.
Yeah, I would just say week 2 nobody's ranked anything, but good for them. Good for the Dogs. Hell State in that case. I'm always excited as long as those Mississippi teams aren't playing the Crimson Tide. I root for them.
Super Cowbells.
I need more cowbell. Ole Miss got a big win in Kentucky. Florida must have underestimated, USF.
I think South Florida is better than advertised because
Brown didn't even play the first half. If he would have, they would have probably dog walked Florida.
Holy cow.
I just feel like South Florida got that big one against Boise last week, but they're for real, man. They got a good coach. So they've got an inside track at the playoffs right now.
And so, we'll be looking at we'll be talking about Wisconsin on Monday, and for you guys that are watching the program, we would love to see you there. We'd love to get your thoughts. And until then, make sure that you share the BS podcast with everybody everywhere, and we invite you to be back. Austin Dash, any final thoughts before we give our final roll tide and call it a night?
On to Wisconsin, roll tide.
That's right. Let's do it. Josh, any final thoughts?
Yeah, it looks like Bama had 1, 2, 4 great quarterbacks on the roster. Now we got 3, but I'll take it.
Yeah. And look, Ty Simpson responded as he should, and he
if
played
we would
his
have had more
guts out.
time, maybe we could have seen the walk-on get in there tonight at quarterback.
Maybe so.
Yeah, and he was 17, man. It looks like he had a little more touch on his passes today. He wasn't like throwing it 500 miles an hour every pass, but Jeremy Bernard is that dude, bro. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I really don't care if Ryan Williams plays. Jeremy Bernard is the number 1 wide receiver right now. He is a number 1. You can't have 2 number 1s. Yep. And if your highest paid player isn't doing what he's supposed to do, well, you have the luxury of not paying him and letting him walk.
That's a fair point. Time will tell. We'll see, because against Wisconsin, he will probably be back on the field, and we'll see. Coaches, let's from this fan to you all. I know you're going to watch this program. Believe me, man. Let's let's up the intensity and please get the guys ready to get after Wisconsin. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all for now. For Mr. Josh Moran, for Austin Dash, I am Quincy Moran. And I'll let you know this is the BS Podcast. Roll Tide, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.
Roll Tide.
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science, you know.
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. I mean it. Like,
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
what the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang
I'm your
on.
host,
Hang
Quincy
on.
Moran.
Hang on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.